Alright, in this tutorial we're going to look at charging by induction. So make sure that you have the charging by induction sheet printed out and fill it in as we go along. So let's start off by looking at charging by induction with a negatively charged rod. Let's draw a negatively charged rod. And once again, I'll put my positive charges in red and my negative charges in blue. So negatively charged rod, we're going to have more electrons, and we start off with a neutral electroscope. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we bring our rod closer to our electroscope. However, we don't touch the electroscope, we just bring it close. So charging by induction, we don't touch the object. So we have our negatively charged rod here. Alright, so what happens is our electrons in our electroscope are now repelled by the negatively charged rod. So all our electrons are going to end up in our leaves. We still have the same amount of protons because our protons don't move, only our electrons do. So all our electrons end up down in the leaves. Now when we're charging by induction, we have this extra step. So we still have our rod. Oh, it's not a very nice rod, but that's okay. By our electroscope, but it's not touching. Yes, I'll bring this up closer. It's not touching. It's nice and close. But in this other step, what we're going to do is we're going to ground our electroscope. So our leaves will still be flared, and we still have our negatively charged rod. But now what we have done is we've added a ground. So this is how we show that there's a ground, by this little symbol here. Now a ground could be someone's hand, it could be something, for example, a metal rod or something that goes from the electroscope to the floor. So anything like that that electrons can easily flow through. So we add our ground in. And what's going to happen is this ground allows for our electrons to be able to move further away from the rod. So what happens is our electrons move out through this ground. And that leaves our positive charges in our electroscope. So when we move our rod away from our electroscope, what we're left with is a positively charged electroscope. And our rod is still negatively charged. So I'll write down here, electroscope is now positively charged. Alright, so what happens then if we start off with a positively charged rod? We draw in our positively charged rod, and we start off with our neutral electroscope. So once again, we bring our rod close to our electroscope, but not touching. Just draw in my rod for the other ones as well to save me a bit of time. So this time, what happens is our electrons are attracted by our positively charged rod. So what we end up with are all our electrons towards the top of our electroscope, and our leaves are flaring outwards with a positive charge. Alright, so now what we have to do is add in our ground. But this time, because we have a positively charged rod, our electrons are attracted to it. And what happens is we get electrons flowing into our electroscope from the ground. And this causes there to be a lot more negative charges in our electroscope now. So our leaves become negatively charged and begin to repel away from each other. We then take away our positively charged rod, and what we're left with is a negatively charged electroscope. I'll write down the bottom. Electroscope is negatively charged.